Laker fans, how we doing? My name is Sammy Long. You know the drill. Another Laker preview video, kind of taking a look at every game this season and something to watch out for in the upcoming matchup. The Lakers got the Miami Heat tonight at Crypto. The last game against Miami was dreadful. They lost by 40. It was really a low point of the year. Some could argue this is possibly trending to be a low point of the year. It's interesting. The Heat have been at pivotal. The Lakers have played the Heat at pivotal points in their season. So we're going to get to that in a little bit. I'm going to talk about a quote I thought Rui Quote had after the game that was a little telling, especially why they were so bad defensively in that second half against the Spurs. And that's our first topic. No effort against the Spurs. It was bad. I mean, the first half they came out with energy. The first half they looked like they were trying and wanted to win. In the second half, I mean, it was just flat-footed. They were up 11 at one point and let that kind of just dissipate by the end of the third quarter. Tied it going into the fourth. And you thought, hey, it's at home. Maybe the Lakers can rally here, get a little break in the fourth. That did not happen. The Spurs just took off and ran with it. They were hitting threes from everywhere, and the Lakers were tied with the Spurs heading into the fourth quarter, as I mentioned. And then they outscored the Lakers 25-9 to take a 114-98 lead with 4 minutes remaining. So the game was, over at that point. And then, they ended up winning like 126-102, something like that. But they looked disinterested. They started jacking up shots. The Lakers from the outside really were not running an offense. I think some of that's on JJ Redick about not kind of calling timeout and getting this team together. I thought the players really there wasn't a lot of effort being given at all. They missed a few easy bunnies. Cam Reddish missed an easy bunny when the game was still kind of in doubt. And transition defense was awful as usual. I mean, the Spurs were just getting open looks. And it was kind of a vintage Chris Paul performance. He took it back a few years. He may be 39, but he still can run an offense. And that's what he was doing. He was just taking advantage of the Lakers nonstop, point after point, and just kind of finding the opening guy. And they were skipping passes, something Rui touched on in his quote. I'm going to get to in a minute. The Lakers just had no answers. And I think part of it's on the coaching staff, on Redick and the coaching staff. Part of it's on the players for not bringing effort. Looking at the box score, LeBron had 18, 80 had 30, so 80 had a big night. Rui had 9, couldn't crack double digits. Reeves had 12, Christie 10, Hayes 4. Finney-Smith was disappointing with 4. I thought would have liked to see more from him. Reddish had a tough night. Reddish had 3 points, and normally when Reddish has 3 points, you go, well, he's a defensive specialist. He took 7 shots though. He went 1 of 7 from the field. Milton did not play. Connect had 5, and Vincent had an okay night, going 3 of 6 and scoring 7 points. So didn't get a lot of production from everywhere else. In games where, the rest of the starting lineup outside of LeBron AD have one's not even in double digits and the other two barely crack it at 12 and 10. That's just not a recipe for success, especially against a good, really talented Spurs team that is young and fun. Their record is not probably what it like. Night in, night out, they have problems because they are young and they lack the inconsistencies. But this team has a ton of talent. Chris Paul distributing, obviously Wemby. Stephon Castle, I think, is one of the best young players in the game. He's going to be excellent for them. Big-time guard out of UConn, won the national title, and he's really just kind of progressed. Vassell had a big night against the Lakers. The Lakers had no answer at the three-point line. Yeah, the Lakers got to clean some things up because that was pretty embarrassing performance, and you kind of felt like the Dallas one was a one-off. That's why it was that loss hurt, but it was okay. Maybe they've been playing good basketball. Maybe that they got caught flat-footed, and then take it a week later. And I know a lot has happened in Los Angeles, so I understand players being distracted, but they did not step up and bring that effort. So the Lakers are 0-3 against teams in Texas. Hopefully the Lakers can change that at some point. The Lakers will play the Spurs one more time. They still are up 2-1 on the series for against the Spurs. So hopefully they can win that last game and they will have a tiebreaker against the Spurs because they are kind of battling for position there, kind of towards the bottom of the Western Conference bracket. Getting the Rui quote I thought was interesting. Rui talked about, he said, our defense is 1-5. When we get switched up and somebody posts up our smaller guys and they're waiting and all of that, we have to have a low man. He said, of course, Chris Paul, he's one of the greatest point guards who's ever played. He's always looking at the other 5. He was just skipping the ball, so it was hard for everybody to close out and make a play. But it was a whole thing that we planned for. When we do 1-5, AD wants to be on top, playing at the top of the paint. So we didn't really have a low man or anybody protecting the rim. So, yeah, it was tough for us. We have to be more physical, and everybody has to have the mentality of protecting the rim. I don't know who that's calling out. I don't think it's calling out AD because AD, it makes sense that he's playing at kind of at the top because you want that shot blocker up top when they try to get it to the high post. But I don't know if that's calling out the rest of the team. If that's closeouts are literally a thing of effort and wanting to do it. So that's something that comes from the coaching staff and just effort on the team. That was disappointing. I don't know if that's kind of calling out Jackson Hayes a little bit about that really hasn't been protecting the rim down there. He did have a tough night. They kind of targeted him a few times, especially kind of off some pick and roll screens, and it did feel like that's a problem for JJ Redick for me. Is that why is that happening? Why is Rui talking about this post game in the entire second half? They're basically just skipping passes, finding the open guy, hitting it to the top of the key, and then finding a guy in the short corner, and they were hitting shots all night. And then a lot of them were threes, some of them were like short kind of twos, and there were just no adjustments at all. So Redick and the staff really got to do something, because that can't happen, because that they're going to try to exploit that, and certainly Miami is going to try to do it after seeing that on tape. Speaking of Miami, this team has, the Lakers are always in flux, and they're always kind of the big story, and there's a lot going on with the Lakers. Miami has a lot of the same things. Big market down there in Florida, and the whole Jimmy Butler saga, him wanting out, being suspended by the team for 7 games. He will not be playing in this game while he is still suspended technically. And, everyone's kind of waiting to see where he's going to go, because he basically told Pat Riley and the whole team, I will go anywhere else except playing for the Miami Heat. He said he lost the love of joy playing for Miami. So they got some problems down there. Now, in his absence, Tyler Herro has really stepped up. Tyler Herro has been kind of the go-to guy. He's been a good player for them for years now, but really now that Jimmy Butler's off the team, he's not sharing touches. On the year, he's averaging about 24 points per game on about 47% shooting and almost 41% shooting from 3. So Herro had a big night last time the Lakers played him. Again, the Lakers got blown out by 40 in that game. That was coming off the heels of a 29-point loss to the Timberwolves. Again, lack of effort we were talking about after that game. Not a lot going on. And the last time these teams played, the Heat made 51% of their threes. So that can't happen. And hopefully, it's in LA tonight. So hopefully that the home court kind of helps you out there versus playing in Miami. They are an above average defensive team. They're ranked 16th offensively. And so they rely on Herro. Haywood Highsmith's a nice young player. Terry Rozier, kind of the veteran on this team, even though he's only 30. Him and Kevin Love. Kevin Love's been getting a lot of time because Bam Adebayo was out for their last game. Jaime Jaquez Jr. I feel like we say it every time. Such a bummer that the Lakers picked Shafino over him. The local UCLA kid. He's been a great ad for them, and has really been a nice running mate for Herro or Jimmy Butler, whoever it has been. Duncan Robinson comes off the bench. He's a 3-point specialist. Nikola Jovic is a good player. Khalil Ware. This guy is a center. He's 20 years old. He's really young. He had 19 points the other night. He is probable in this game. He was questionable. They upgraded him today. He's a nice young player, and he's pretty shifty, pretty agile for a center. He's a big scorer for them off the bench. So I think the Lakers really got to be careful of Ware tonight. Bam is questionable, so we don't know if he'll definitely get a lot more time if Bam doesn't play. Butler and Josh Richardson and Drew Smith are out. Bam is questionable, but Ware is probable. And on the Lakers side, AD and LeBron are probable. Dorian Finney-Smith is doubtful for personal reasons. So that's a big blow, especially to a team that has the kind of 3-point shooters in Duncan Robinson, Tyler Herro, and guys like that. Cam Reddish is going to have to step up because Vando's still out. Him and Christie are really got to do a good job on Herro and can't just be a liability defensively, or offensively as well. Another guy who plays for them is Alec Burks. He comes off the bench. So they're playing like 9 right now. They've been in flux a lot with Jimmy Butler. Recently, they most recently lost to the Clippers, 109-98. But before that, they had actually been on a 3-game win streak. They beat the Warriors, beat the Jazz, and the Trailblazers. So, again, this is a team that you look at. The Vegas has the Lakers favored by 4.5 right now. The Lakers should win this game. You feel like if the Lakers play up to snuff, they should win the game. But what team are we going to see? Are we going to see the teams that we know that the Lakers can be, where they're dominant and they're getting the ball into Anthony Davis and they're running the pick and roll with LeBron, and Reeves is having a big night, Rui's having a big night, and kind of the whole supporting cast is going? Or are we going to see a Spurs performance or performance against the Heat like last time, where there's just kind of flat-footed, not a lot of energy? This Laker team has really gone on – in a long NBA season, you're going to have skids, you're going to have win streaks. But it feels like the Lakers the whole time has been on top of the world 10-4, then a whole losing streak. Then you kind of get it back together and go on a nice little win streak. And then now you're on a 3-game losing streak. The Lakers really need to stop the bleeding a little bit. It's a team the Lakers should beat. And we'll see if they do. The other guys had to step up with Dorian Finney-Smith out because there was some rumors of possibly do you move him in the starting lineup, kind of juice things up a little bit. Well, you can't do that because he's probably gonna be out tonight. So we're gonna see what the Lakers do. Hopefully they get a W. We'll be back for a preview video against the Nets, seeing our old friend D'Angelo Russell on Friday night. But I appreciate you guys. I'll tune it in, and then Alan will get you guys on the post-game show. Hopefully we're talking about a Laker W. Thank you.